every Christ follower can walk in obedience to and be filled with the power and the gifts of the Holy Spirit. You see, we believe that that is coming from the book of Acts, just like it was in the book of Acts. The believers, the disciples of Jesus who had walked with him and had a relationship with him were encouraged by him to wait for the gift and the promise of the Holy Spirit. In Acts chapter 1 verse 4, he says this, "And being assembled together with them, he commanded them not to depart from Jerusalem, but to wait for the promise of the Father, which he said, 'You have heard from me.'" And verse 5 says this, "For John truly baptized with water, but you shall be baptized with the Holy Spirit not many days from now." You see, the disciples had waited and been with Jesus for 3.5 years. Now he was telling them, don't just run out and go out and just start preaching the gospel just yet, but wait for the gift of the Holy Spirit to come upon you, and you will be baptized with the Holy Spirit. And you see that happen not very many days from then in Acts chapter 2, the day of Pentecost. It says, when the day of Pentecost had fully come, they were all together in one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as a rushing mighty wind, and it filled the whole house where they were sitting. And there appeared to them divided tongues of fire, and one sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. So here at OCFA, we believe that this is for today. This is for us today. And we want all of us to be filled to overflowing with the Holy Spirit. What is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of this coming of the Holy Spirit in our lives? But Jesus also told us what that is for. In Acts chapter 1 verse 8, after he had told the disciples to wait in Jerusalem for the promise of the Father. He said this in verse 8 of Acts chapter 1. It says, "But you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you." Power to do what? Power to be witnesses. You see, our lives should be a witness. The way we live out our lives should be a witness to the world of who Jesus is. And the only way we can do that is through the power of the Holy Spirit. So we want to encourage all of our members, all of those who come to be part of this church, to be filled with the Holy Spirit. We want to be a body of believers that are Spirit-filled, living in the power of God and the power of the Spirit. But also not only that, but to see the gifts of the Spirit at work in our lives. Even as we go about our day, even as we go about our lives in our workplaces, in our homes, in the jobs, and wherever we go, that God's gift of the Holy Spirit will overflow in our lives. Do you know Jesus today? I hope you do. And if you do, he wants to take you deeper and have a deeper walk with him and a closer relationship with him through the power of the Holy Spirit overflowing in your life today.